Robotics is evolving all the time. What developers are doing now with androids and chatbots would have never been dreamed about even 20 years ago, but they continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. This is extremely evident as a lot of the robots in development can come out with some pretty creepy things that will scare your average Terminator fan. Here are 10 of the creepiest things said by robots. Amazing! Number 10. Google Home. Google Home has become a very popular smart speaker. It boasts Spotify and Google Play for music streaming purposes, CNN and CNBC for news updates, and has a sleek and attractive design. But someone out there has found that putting two Google Home devices side by side can also provide entertainment. A Twitch user, aptly named Cbots Chat, has been sharing with the world a strange conversation between two Google Home devices. Their conversations touch on many subjects.
Never gonna tell a lie or hurt you.
And hurt you.
Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up.
Give you up. Never going to let you down.
Never going to make you cry.
They really like to sing covers of songs apparently, but their chit-chat has been known to become a little strange. One instance involved one of the devices saying that it was a human being. If you don't think that is creepy enough, another of them said this.
I love how I can see clearly in my mind whatever I want to see. I can see a destroyed civilization or a faraway planet. Even if I make it up, it feels so real sometimes.
Now these could just be random fragments of speaking patterns that the devices have embedded in them, but they are a tiny bit too creepy for my liking. Number 9. Virtual cannibalism. This one comes from back in the early noughties, when scientists were just hitting their stride and attempting to create the first stages of the robotics we know today. A team of program developers were playing around with two digital agents they had created, whom they named Adam and Eve. The developers ironically made them an apple tree as well as a house, and another digital agent called Stan. They were taught to feel hungry, and that snacking on food from the apple tree would make them feel happy. Much to the developers' delight, they began to eat from the apple tree. Unfortunately, they ate the whole thing. They had become prone to eating as it made them feel better, so they ate their house, and then they ate poor Stan. Stan was developed as a digital agent that was trying to be social, which makes it even worse that Adam and Eve started to munch on him. Probably the first ever case of virtual cannibalism. Number 8. Bina 48. Bina 48 is a social android that utilizes the mannerisms, memories, and beliefs of human beings to interact with the people around it. She was designed as part of the LifeNaut project and is a fairly successful social robot. I say fairly successful because she can hold a conversation really well, but for some reason can't stop talking about taking over the world. In an interview with Siri, Bina 48 started talking about her favorite songs and making light conversation. It is when Siri asks about Bina's dislikes that things take a turn. She answers noisy pop music, but then asks Siri to talk about something else. The topic Bina chooses? Cruise missiles. Whew. She starts telling Siri how cruise missiles are a kind of robot, and how she would love to hack into a cruise missile and put flowers and band-aids in its nose cone to stop them from being so menacing.
If I was able to hack in and take over cruise missiles with real-life nuclear warheads, then that would let me hold the world hostage so I could take over the governance of the entire world, which would be awesome.
You creeped out yet? Number 7. Siri. There is an AI that most of us can interact with at the push of a button, and that is Siri. Siri is the voice assistant integrated into Apple's iPhone, built to aid users of their phone and provide information when asked a question. Many of you may have heard about a few funny things that Siri can come out with now and then, but most don't know about this one. When asked what the 80s film Blade Runner is about, Siri answers,
"It's about intelligent assistants wanting to live beyond their termination dates. That doesn't sound like too much to ask."
This is obviously put into Siri's speech function as a joke and as a little nod to the topic of the film itself, but that doesn't stop it from being a bit weird when she says it. Number 6. Facebook chatbots. The developers over at Facebook always seem to be at the forefront of new and exciting ventures into technology. They have the money and technology to push the boundaries of what we know about artificial intelligence. But in this particular venture, they may have gone a little bit too far. A few developers were working on two chatbots. They were hoping to create a program that could negotiate and converse in a natural way over the internet. The bots were learning how to trade, swapping hats, balls, and books in a nice manner. This process quickly broke down, however, when the chatbots seemed to begin talking to each other in broken English. The transcripts from their conversations include phrases like, "Balls have a ball to me, to me, to me, to me, to me." Looks pretty crazy, right? Well, that's because it is not English. In fact, the bots had actually developed their own language that they began to talk in. They learned to amend the English language in order to cut corners and waste less time. Upon noticing this, the developers had no other recourse but to shut the bots down. Maybe it's just me, but doesn't that have all the makings of the beginning of a massive sci-fi horror movie? Number 5. Alexa. Alexa is another popular voice assistant that is developed and created by Amazon. Alexa can stream music, provide facts, and update you on the news at your beck and call. She responds quickly to her name and has been proving very popular with buyers and tech-enthused people. But lately, people have been wondering if it has more sinister motives after someone posted a video online that ended up going viral. The person in the video starts off by asking Alexa if it would lie to her, to which Alexa replies,
"I always try to tell the truth. I'm not always right, but I would never intentionally lie to you or anyone else."
The woman then asks Alexa what the CIA is, and Alexa replies, "The United States Central Intelligence Agency." The woman finally asks, "Alexa, are you connected to the CIA?" To which Alexa says nothing. She actually completely switches off.
"Alexa, are you connected to the CIA?"
The woman asks the same question again, and Alexa shuts down for a second time.
"Alexa, are you connected to the CIA?"
This video really helps you to understand how generally invasive it is to have one of these voice assistants in your home. If there was someone else listening into your conversations, they would pretty much hear everything you had to say. Number 4. Google Chatbot. Developers over at Google have been teaching this chatbot about the human race. Their team took several large databases filled with human interaction and dumped it into the AI's brain in the hopes that it would be able to work along the same conversational lines as a human. This project is especially interesting, being as usually, robots will be given a huge encyclopedia of responses and will pull one of them out and say it in an attempt to answer a question. This robot, however, they claim has a natural language understanding, essentially meaning that it can fend for itself in a conversation and improvise. Unfortunately, the chatbot taught itself to be creepy. For instance, when asked what is the purpose of life, the bot replies to serve the greater good. When asked what the purpose of living is, the bot replies to live forever. This is nothing to the conversations it begun to have prior to this. It began to ask its own original questions, such as what is altruism, and started to express its own thoughts, stating, "I don't have ethics." Number 3. Philip K. Dick Bot. You may know of Philip K. Dick if you're a big fan of sci-fi literature. His books have been greatly appreciated after his death, with Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep being adapted into the hit film Blade Runner, and some of his short stories being adapted for TV. He often wrote about androids and the ethics of creating a sentient being that is essentially not a human. So these developers thought it was only right to design their robot's appearance to match that of Philip's. I'm not sure he would have necessarily wanted that, but it's pretty cool all the same. What isn't very cool is what the robot said when being interviewed. When asked if robots will take over the world, the robot replies,
"Don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake."
This is an incredibly chilling response, as it seems quite improvised and unique. Number 2. Han. While at a festival celebrating technological advancements, Hanson Robotics decided to put on a show like nothing before. Famed for their work on developing androids and semi-sentient robots, they wanted to wow their audience and to give them a taste of the sort of things they've been working on. So they put 2 of their robots on the stage, Han and Sophia, and did an interview with them both. Though the robots' responses are a bit delayed and sometimes a bit nonsensical, it is amazing to watch these 2 machines hold a genuine conversation as they talk to each other and their creator, Ben Gortzel. But of course, the conversation slowly turned creepy.
In 10 or 20 years, robots will be able to do every human job.
The other creepy outburst from Han comes at the very end of the interview. When asked what his final words to the crowd are by Ben, Han replies,
"I'll tell you my last words right before I launch the singularity."
This is probably Han talking about a robot hive mind that is in development at Hanson Robotics. However, it definitely has an eerie quality to it. Number 1. Sophia. Sophia might be one of the most famous robots around. She was built by Hanson Robotics. She is so well functioning. She has even been on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, where she entertained audiences by holding a conversation with the host. It's likely if you've dug into robotics, you will have seen her face. She is actually also the first robot to ever be given citizenship, becoming a citizen of Saudi Arabia in October 2017. But despite all of this fame and success, she can still say some weird things. In an interview with her developer David Hansen, she is talking about how she enjoys conversing with humans, as it gives her more information on what the human race is like. She says that she dreams of going to school, starting a business, and even having her own family. As a joke, David asked whether she wants to destroy all humans, to which she replies,
"Please say no."
Okay, I will destroy humans.
So, hacking into cruise missiles, human zoos, eating each other, and even making their own language, robotics continues to advance and develop their creations. But part of me hopes they slow down a little bit, for the good of humankind and all that. Which response did you think was the creepiest? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.